G'day. In days of antiquity, a mad doctor would take mental patients who were disturbed away from the city rat race and unrealistic expectations. He would settle them in a country location for a more productive lifestyle, or at least more peaceful. Now, a mad doctor actually featured in an episode of MASH, and he treated the wild hawkeye and honeycut. As for me, I'm more of a documentor, making docos on biology, geology, astronomy, and theology. I show some things I've eaten, although the fox I ate is on a disc somewhere, and I don't have the equipment to rip it. Well, I wonder if you'll see the gaffes and the gnarly knowledge and even the music that I do before the sun explodes with a coronal mass ejection, which it will put us back in the horse and cart days with, after its electromagnetic pulse short circuits all the electronics in the world. I was concerned for such things in 2012 when the comet Elenin threatened the same thing. I even took to the hills to escape any ensuing tsunamis, but the comet broke up into 1,000 pieces when it passed through the perihelion of the Sun, which is the orbit plane on which most planets are located. Now, at least I've got some mountain scenery on video which I can show you. I was once a bus mechanic, but my engineering studies made me a bit of a greenie, so I just went and did farming. For the last 6 years I've been distributing food and furniture to the poor, and I even furthered my concerns for food supply by working at a bakery. I've also been supporting orphans in Southern Asia, where there's so many people it makes it hard to get food. I've travelled on missions to most of those countries, and I show some scenes from there as well. Well, most doctors will say I'm schizophrenic, but there is some question because I never actually had any voices in my head, but I just had these spiritual forces attacking me, which are akin to St. Paul's thorn in his side, and that's from the most famous holy book, the Bible. I do share from that book, and I can testify as to why I believe in God, as he has impacted science and history. Well, what else would you do while you're waiting to see if you've got cancer, and while the world waits to see if they're going to die of coronavirus? Well, just make a YouTube channel then. Now, here's my Indian foster sister riding horseback, and below is my family on a yacht. Here we're in Perth with my parents visiting. I had a beard back then. And here I'm having a flight lesson at Mackay, Queensland. And down here I'm drowning in the Whitsundays, or having a swim at least. Well, that's about all I'll introduce myself with. Let the fun and amazement begin.